Are you truly comfortable in your own skin as you navigate these later chapters of life? Many older adults, perhaps people just like you, feel a growing disconnect, a subtle sense of unease, or even unfamiliarity with their own bodies. You might think it's just getting older, but what if there's a hidden cost to not actively nurturing that connection? What if neglecting certain aspects of self-care, especially the more personal ones, is quietly undermining your confidence, your comfort, and even your overall well-being? Today, we're not just talking about bubble baths and eating well, though those matter. We're diving deeper into understanding your body's needs as it changes, including topics some might shy away from, like personal exploration and physical self-awareness. Why? Because ignoring these areas doesn't make them go away. It might actually create unexpected hurdles to feeling truly vital and in control. This isn't about vanity. It's about your fundamental right to feel good, safe, and connected within yourself, regardless of the year on your birth certificate. Before we really get into the heart of it, I'm curious, where are you joining from today? Let me know in the comments below. Are you in a busy city, a quiet town, maybe somewhere sunny or snowy? It helps me picture who I'm talking with on this important journey. Also, tell me, what's one simple thing you already do that makes you feel even a little bit better in your body? Drop that in the comments too. We often focus on the visible signs of aging. Wrinkles, gray hair, maybe slower steps. But what about the internal landscape? Have you noticed feeling less at home in your body? Maybe aches and pains seem louder, or simple movements feel less intuitive. Here's a thought that might seem counterintuitive. Could some of this discomfort stem not just from physical changes, but from a lack of dedicated, mindful self-care, including that crucial connection to your physical self? Think about it. When we neglect to truly listen to our bodies, to acknowledge their needs for comfort, gentle movement, and even safe, personal touch, we risk building up tension. Stress hormones like cortisol can run higher when we're disconnected or uncomfortable. Research, like studies published in journals focusing on geriatric wellness, consistently links chronic stress and lack of body awareness to increased inflammation, poorer sleep quality, and even a dampened mood. It's not just in your head, it's a physical reality. This isn't about blaming yourself, it's about recognizing a potential hidden factor. We meticulously track medications, doctor's appointments, maybe even our diets. But how often do we consciously check in with our body's need for simple comfort, reassurance, and connection? Could neglecting this fundamental aspect be subtly contributing to feelings of vulnerability or loss of control that many seniors silently struggle with? It's a question worth asking. Are myths robbing you of your comfort? Now, let's confront some pervasive ideas, myths really, that might be actively preventing you from embracing the self-care you deserve. These aren't harmless old wives' tales. They can act as invisible barriers, keeping you from feeling your best. Are any of these silently holding you back? Myth number 1. Losing control of your body is just part of aging. How many times have you heard this, or perhaps even thought it yourself? But the reality is, while bodies change, losing a sense of agency doesn't have to be inevitable. Studies, including fascinating work reported by gerontology researchers, show that older adults who actively engage in self-care, listening to their bodies, adapting activities, even exploring safe touch, report feeling more in control, not less. Believing this myth can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, leading you to give up control when you don't have to. Myth number 2. It's too late for me to start focusing on this. This is perhaps one of the most damaging myths. Maybe you feel you haven't prioritized this kind of self-connection before, so why start now? Here's the truth. Backed by organizations like the National Institute on Aging, it is never too late. Introducing even small, consistent acts of self-care, like mindful breathing, gentle stretching tailored to your ability, or consciously acknowledging physical sensations can yield tangible benefits: improved circulation, lower stress, better sleep, even if you start in your 70s, 80s, or beyond. Don't let the past dictate your present comfort. Myth number 3. Personal exploration or intimacy is inappropriate or unnecessary for older adults. This one often carries a layer of societal awkwardness, doesn't it? But let's be frank, your need for physical comfort, connection, and yes, even pleasure doesn't magically vanish on your 65th birthday. Groundbreaking research, including studies in sexual behavior archives, confirms that maintaining a connection with your sensual self, whether partnered or solo, is linked to better mental health, lower rates of depression, and a greater sense of overall well-being in later life. To believe otherwise is to deny a fundamental, healthy part of being human. These myths aren't just inaccurate, they can actively harm by creating unnecessary limitations and stealing opportunities for comfort and joy. Which myth resonates most with you? Or what other myths about aging and self-care have you encountered? Share your thoughts below. Let's bust these myths together. Alright, let's address something that might feel personal, perhaps even taboo for some: self-touch or personal exploration. As someone focused on holistic well-being, I need to tell you directly, avoiding this topic or feeling shame around it can have its own set of hidden costs. It's not just normal. Understanding and potentially embracing this aspect of self-care can be genuinely beneficial, and ignoring it might mean missing out. When you engage in safe, comfortable self-touch, your brain doesn't just sit idly by. It releases powerful neurochemicals. Think dopamine, the reward signal, oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and endorphins, natural mood lifters and pain relievers. As studies in sexual medicine journals have shown, this isn't just about momentary pleasure. This chemical cascade can actively reduce stress levels, promote relaxation conducive to better sleep, and even support cardiovascular health by helping to lower blood pressure. If you're consistently denying yourself this potential source of comfort, are you unknowingly keeping your stress levels higher than they need to be? For older adults, there's another layer. Gentle self-exploration can help maintain awareness and even activity in the pelvic floor muscles, crucial for bladder control and circulation. It's a simple, private way to stay connected to your body's functions. Furthermore, consider the emotional aspect. In a world that sometimes makes older adults feel invisible or desexualized, acknowledging your own physical needs can be a powerful act of self-validation. And if you think you're alone in even considering this, think again. Surveys, like those conducted by AARP, consistently reveal that a significant majority of adults over 65 still value physical closeness and personal intimacy, whether with a partner or through self-exploration. Feeling shame or ignoring this aspect means potentially isolating yourself from a common, healthy human experience and its associated benefits. Did any of this science surprise you? Does framing it as a potential cost of avoidance, rather than just a benefit of engagement, change how you think about it? I'd genuinely love to hear your perspective in the comments. Okay, we've talked about the potential downsides of disconnection and the myths that hold us back. So what can you do? How can you start reclaiming that sense of comfort and control in your own body, including exploring personal touch if you choose. Here are some simple, practical steps. Think of them as antidotes to neglect. 1. Start with breath awareness. Before anything else, just sit quietly. Place a hand gently on your belly or chest. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. Feel the rise and fall. This isn't complicated, but as research shows, it's a powerful signal to your nervous system to calm down. It's step 1 in turning your attention inward. 2. Gentle movement with intention. Try a simple, loving stretch. Maybe reach your arms overhead, feeling the stretch along your sides. Roll your shoulders back and down. Even gently rotating your wrists or ankles counts. The goal isn't a workout. It's about bringing mindful awareness to movement and boosting blood flow, which helps you feel more alive in your skin. Adapt to your mobility. Every little bit matters. 3. Create a safe, private haven. If you're curious about exploring self-touch, the environment matters immensely. Choose a time and place where you feel completely safe, private, and unhurried. Maybe after a warm bath when you're relaxed, or in bed before sleep. Perhaps dim the lights or play calming music. Removing pressure and creating comfort is key. Remember, studies show a calm setting enhances relaxation. 4. Listen intently to your body. There is absolutely no script or goal here. If you explore touch, start simply. A gentle hand resting on your arm, your leg, your shoulder. Just notice the sensation. Is it warm? Does it feel comforting? If you decide to explore further, let your body's response guide you. There's no right or wrong way, only what feels right and comfortable for you right now. If something doesn't feel good, stop. Acknowledge the small victories. Did taking those deep breaths help you feel calmer? Did a gentle stretch ease a bit of stiffness? Did exploring touch, even briefly, bring a flicker of comfort or curiosity? Recognize these moments. Positive psychology research confirms that acknowledging small wins builds confidence and reinforces the value of these practices over time. Here's a gentle challenge. Pick just one of these tips to try intentionally this week. Maybe it's the breathing, maybe a stretch, maybe creating that safe space. Afterwards, reflect. How did it feel? Was it comforting, awkward, empowering? Share your experience, if you feel comfortable, in the comments. Your journey can inspire others. Now, I hear the unspoken questions too. This sounds okay, but I feel embarrassed. What if my body has changed too much? Arthritis, fatigue, scars? I feel guilty even thinking about focusing on myself this way. These feelings are real, but letting them become roadblocks perpetuates the very disconnection we're trying to heal. Shyness or embarrassment. It's understandable. Society hasn't always encouraged open conversation about these topics, especially for older adults. But here's a counterpoint. Research in geriatric psychology suggests that pushing gently past that initial discomfort to try new self-care routines often leads to increased self-esteem fairly quickly. Your courage is stronger than your hesitation. Body changes. Has arthritis made certain movements painful? Does fatigue limit your energy? The answer isn't to give up, it's to adapt. Use pillows for support during stretches or relaxation. Focus touch on areas that do feel good and accessible. Maybe it's just gently massaging your own hands or feet. Your worth and your right to comfort aren't dependent on a younger version of your body. Guilt. Feeling guilty about taking time for yourself, especially for something perceived as indulgent, remind yourself forcefully, this is your body, your life. Prioritizing your own comfort and well-being isn't selfish, it's essential maintenance. You've likely spent decades caring for others. You have absolutely earned the right to care for yourself. Don't let these barriers solidify into reasons for continued neglect. Actively finding ways around them is part of reclaiming your power. What's one barrier, physical or emotional, that you've found challenging when it comes to self-care? Let's talk about it in the comments. Sharing can help. So here's the core message I want you to take away today. Thinking about and actively practicing self-care, including mindful connection with your physical self, isn't a luxury. It's a fundamental aspect of maintaining your well-being, your confidence, and your sense of self as you age. Neglecting it has quiet costs. Every time you choose to listen to your body, to offer it comfort, to move it gently, to acknowledge its needs, you are sending a powerful message. I matter, my comfort matters, my experience matters. Science backs this up. Self-compassion and proactive self-care are strongly linked to greater resilience, less anxiety, and more joy in later life. You've navigated decades of life. You hold wisdom, experience, and resilience. Now is the time to fully claim your right to feel as good, as comfortable, and as connected in your own body as possible. It's not about reversing time. It's about enriching the time you have. Stand tall or sit tall, whatever feels right for you. Take a breath and affirm, I am worthy of comfort. I am in charge of my well-being. I deserve to feel good in my own skin. Let that resonate. We've explored some important, perhaps sensitive territory today. My hope is that you feel informed, maybe a little challenged, but ultimately empowered to take small, meaningful steps toward greater comfort and connection with yourself. If this discussion resonated with you, please hit that like button. It truly helps this message reach more people who might need to hear it. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing for more insights on navigating aging with vitality and confidence. Now, I really want to hear from you one last time. What is one specific takeaway from our conversation today that struck you the most? And what's one small action you plan to take this week based on what we discussed? Share it in the comments below. I read them all and value knowing this conversation made a difference. Until next time, remember to be kind to yourself. You are absolutely worth the effort. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.